The goal of the game of Spheres of Life is to have the most points at the end of the game, and you earn points by collecting sets of animal cards that add to your score whilst avoiding having cards in your hand at the end of the game that could subtract from your score. Begin the game by having each player choose a hero. Each hero has different abilities, and I won't cover those in this tutorial, but just keep in mind that each one has special abilities. Then shuffle the main deck and deal each player 3 cards. Lastly, decide who goes first and give them the phase cards. Now the game can start. Each round begins with the day phase. During the day phase, a number of cards equal to the number of players is revealed from the top of the deck. Then, starting with the first player, each player must choose one card to put into their hand. After they have all done so, each player then draws a card from the deck. With that, the day phase is over and the night phase begins. During the night phase, cards are revealed from the top of the deck as in the last phase, except this time 2 cards per player are revealed. In this example game, we'll say there are 3 players, so 6 cards are revealed. Now the players have a couple choices. They may choose to discard up to 2 cards from their hand, and if they do, they may choose to pick up an equal or lesser number of revealed cards. In this example, this player discards 2 cards, but only sees 1 card that they really want to pick up. So they discard 2 and pick up 1. During this phase, you are not required to discard, but if you don't, then you cannot take any of the revealed cards. After everyone has a turn, the remaining revealed cards on the players are put into the discard pile, and the dream phase begins. The dream phase is the phase that all the strange things happen in, where ability cards are played, sets of cards are banked, and player actions are taken. Playing ability cards can happen at any time during the dream phase, and a player may play as many as they wish, keeping in mind that an ability card's effects must be resolved before another can be played. The effects of these cards are strange, and many of them can even change which phase the game is in, so use care, but use them often. Every dream phase, a player must take a player action, but before they do, they may choose to bank a set of 3 identical animal cards from their hand. By setting aside this set of animals, the player is protecting these cards from being taken. We'll talk about why this might be a good thing to do when we cover scoring in a little bit, but it's worth considering. After deciding whether or not to bank a set, the player then chooses one of the following player actions. Steal a card at random from another player's hand, give a card to another player from your own hand, or thirdly, offer an exchange declaring the card you want to receive and which one you're giving away. If no one takes you up on this action, then one of the other 2 must be chosen. The dream phase ends when the last player takes their action, or someone ends it prematurely with an ability card. Once this happens, the phase cards are passed to the next player, and the next day phase begins. When the last card is drawn from the main deck, the following phase will be the last dream phase. This dream phase is just like a regular dream phase, except that the ability cards or hero effects cannot change the phase to day or night. The dream phase can be restarted, but once every player in the phase has taken their action, that phase ends and the game is over. Once the game ends, the players look at their hands and bank cards and add up the points. As a general rule, you want to have multiple copies of noble creatures and as few copies of corrupted creatures as possible. All the creatures are worth the same number of points, but if the creatures are corrupted, then the value is negative. 1 copy of an animal is worth 1 point, 2 copies give you 4 points, and a full set of 3 gives you 9 points. But what about the bank cards? Well, for a set of banked noble creatures, your player receives 6 points. And for a banked set of corrupted creatures, the player gains 3 points. So you can see why someone might hesitate to bank a set of noble creatures and may also choose to collect a set of corrupted creatures, because you can actually gain points if you bank corrupted creatures, but you make less points if you bank noble creatures. And lastly, for every remaining ability card, 1 point is deducted from the final score. So that's the game Spheres of Life. It's an interesting game with potential for strange and exciting experiences. And until next time, this is Hogwash over and out. Catch you later.